how to stop rushing things for the sake of getting things done. Now, previously, I did a video on procrastination, right? And procrastination is when you know you need to get done something. For some reason, you just keep putting it off, right? And as a result of that video, I've received a number of comments asking me this very question that you see below that says, well, I don't have a problem with procrastination. I have the opposite problem where I'm rushing things and I'm rushing to get things done because I have so much to do. I rush to get things done, and then therefore the quality of my work does not really reflect my expertise, or does not really reflect what I know the quality of my work to be. So what do I do, right? So if you're listening to this right now and you have experienced something similar, right? Maybe it is that you just find yourself in a hurry to get things done, and for some reason you want to be able to slow down, but how do you break out of that habit to be productive, right? That's what I want to share with you in this video. You see, when it comes to getting things done, there is a big difference between being in a hurry versus being productive. When you're in a hurry, there is a level of urgency, but there's also a level of impatience, right? There's a level of doing things that are not as important, but for some reason there's just this impulse and urgency to do everything, to check off the to-do list, right? Versus being productive. When you are productive, it is moving towards the meaningful goal, whether or not it's your individual goal or the goal of your team or your organization. There is a big difference between being in a hurry versus being productive. There's actually a term for this kind of behavior. When you're in a hurry to get things done, that you want to get everything done immediately, regardless of what the trade-offs are. There's actually a term for this type of behavior, and the term is called precrastination. Right, you have procrastination and then you have precrastination. So precrastination is on the other end of the spectrum. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, isn't it a good thing? Isn't it a great thing to check off the to-do list and get things done immediately? Isn't that a good thing? Well, you see, the thing is, most of the time we don't think about the trade-offs of getting things done immediately, right? The whole thing about precrastination is that we want to get everything done immediately, even the unimportant things. Even the non-urgent, unimportant things. And so what ends up happening is that we get these unimportant things done immediately, and it depletes our energy to do the important things, right? Or it causes us to be able to do things lackadaisically, which means that it's not to our utmost quality. So there are trade-offs for precrastination. It's not as easy as, well, isn't it good to get things checked off, right? Well, no, not really. So in this video, what I want to share with you are some of the ways, some of the awareness, how you can gain more awareness in terms of how you work and your own productivity level, and what you can do if you have that challenge. If you have the challenge of precrastination, what are some things you can do to overcome it? Now, I mentioned earlier, I did a video where I shared a 4-step process of overcoming procrastination. If you find that maybe you want to have some awareness around that as well, it's going to help you to think about your own productivity, then I invite you to watch that video. It's going to be somewhere up here, the link for that video on how to stop procrastination and start to move things forward. It's going to be in that video link, right? So just check out that video after this. Okay, so then when it comes to wanting to overcome a certain behavior or to develop a different habit, we must understand why we do certain things. Only until you understand why you do certain things can you do something different, right? So I want to share with you, when it comes to precrastination, there are 3 reasons why we procrastinate. 3 reasons, right? And the first reason is reward. Reward. So what does this mean? Whenever we procrastinate, getting things done immediately, right? What this does is it triggers a reward center in our brain. It rewards us for checking off that to-do list, for having this sense of moving things along, a sense of getting things accomplished, right? And it is really a short-term gain that we sense, and it triggers a reward center of our brain. The reward center of our brain is in the nucleus accumbens, which is in the center part of our brain, and really that brain center rewards us when we accomplish things that are less payoff, that has a lower payoff, but it has immediate gain. Then we have that sense of a reward. So that's the first reason why we procrastinate, is because it feels good to check off that to-do list. No matter how unimportant that task is and trade-offs we're making, it feels good, so we get rewarded for it. The second reason why we procrastinate is reputation. We want to be seen as worthy of that responsibility. We want to create this perception of diligence, that we are diligent, that we're responsible, that we are leaders, right? That we accomplish things, that we get things done, that we're a top performer. We want to create that perception. So it's reputation. And so because there's this sense of urgency to have that reputation, we dive right in without considering all our other options, right? So that's the second reason, is reputation. The third reason why we procrastinate is reliability. I mean, let's face it, you are a professional. Maybe you are an entrepreneur. There's so many things that you got to get done in any given day that it's impossible to remember everything we got to do on that to-do list. We have responsibilities towards our teams, our managers, our loved ones, our family, our children, and our friends and ourselves. We have all of these responsibilities in different arenas of our life that we need some way to manage what's called the cognitive overload, which is our mental overload. And so we procrastinate. Right? It is reliability. We need to manage that cognitive overload. And so it's just easier in that sense because our brain needs to find those shortcuts. It's just easier to get things done immediately, get those small wins so we feel rewarded, right? To build that reputation so that we can be seen as diligent and worthy of those responsibilities. And then be reliable, be the reliable person we want to be by just getting things done, diving in. And that way we don't have to think about it. We don't have to look at this overarching, these huge to-do list that's never ending and take the time to prioritize it and take the time to delete and to move things around. So it is really a survival mechanism in terms of reliability and reducing that cognitive overload. So now that you know there are 3 reasons why we procrastinate, right? Then what are the strategies? What can you do to overcome procrastination so that you are getting the important things done at the time where you have the greatest energy? Because the last thing we want to do is to deplete our most important energy on unimportant things because of procrastination. So what I'm going to give to you are 4 strategies. What are 4 things you can do right now that you can implement right now to overcome procrastination? By the way, as you can see, I'm in a gondola right now. I just spent a day in Whistler Mountain and we're coming down Blackcomb right now. The only ones in this gondola because of the lockdowns. So I'm also almost at the base of the mountain. So I want to hear from you. Comment below if you are relating to this, if this resonates with you in terms of procrastination. Which one is applicable to you? Which one do you recognize of those 3 reasons why we procrastinate? Which ones do you recognize within yourself? Comment below. I want to hear from you. And as well, if you like what I'm saying or if you like the mountains that you see in the background, give me a thumbs up and remember to subscribe to my channel. Ring that bell so you can receive a notification every time I release a new video. The first strategy to overcome procrastination is ROE. ROE, what does that mean? It means return on energy. Return on energy. Because let's face it, you have a certain amount of energy. I know some of you are more energetic than others, but sometimes you find yourself more energetic in the morning. If that's you, comment below. Or some of you are more energetic later at night. If that's you, comment below. So return on energy. Most people, what they do in their daytime, in their working daytime, they manage their time. Right? They try to manage their time and they fill their calendars, and then all of a sudden they find that they run out of energy to do the important things, or they're not managing their time in a way that they are doing the most important things where they have the highest amount of energy. So instead of thinking about managing your time, think about how can you manage your energy so that you have the biggest return on your highest energy, and that way you can avoid doing unimportant things where you have greater energy. The second strategy is ROTI. ROTI. So what does that mean? Return on time invested. Return on time invested, right? This is your time that you are investing in this task, the time that you're investing to do what's necessary, right? So you got to consider, instead of diving in without considering whether or not it is worthy of your time, you want to pause and you want to give it a rating. Rate it. How much of a return on your time invested is it going to give you in terms of moving your mission forward, in terms of achieving the goal, either your individual goal or your team's goal or your organizational goal? Start to think about the time that you put in as a time that you invest. Rather than just straight being paid for your time, think about it as a time investment. Is it worthy of the time that you are investing? That thing you're about to embark on put it on a scale of 1 to 10. How worthy is it of your time invested right now, right? As opposed to later, as opposed to tomorrow, or as opposed to delegating it to someone else. So start this practice of thinking about ROTI. Third strategy is ROA. ROA, that stands for return on assets. Your greatest assets are your knowledge, your expertise, right? Your knowledge, your expertise, your time, and also your money. Right? So if given these greatest assets, your skill sets are included in there as well. What are the greatest assets that you have that you're going to add value into your industry, or that you're adding value in your organization or in your teams? What are your greatest assets that are going to add value, that's going to move that organization forward or achieve the mission and the goals? Because you want to be operating under those assets, right? Leveraging the assets, because when you leverage your assets, that's when you make the most of your time. That's when you are producing the results that are desirable for yourself or for the organization or wherever or the mission you're a part of. Right? When you focus only on the arena and you put a priority on making sure your assets are giving you those returns, then you know that it is going to be time well spent. And you also know that it's going to be also in your arena of expertise, in your expertise zone, right? In your zone of genius, as they say. So that's why the third strategy is on ROA, return on assets. Fourth and final strategy is ROH. ROH. What does that stand for? Return on happiness. I mean, I get it. I also feel really good when I check off that to-do list. It feels really good and I feel great about it. But what is the return on that happiness, right? How fulfilling, deeply fulfilling is that just to check off my to-do list? Right? You want to make sure that everything we're doing in life right now, we want to create the best experience of life. We want personal fulfillment, isn't that right? We want meaningful fulfillment. So next time you are about to embark on tasks, instead of just diving right in, pause to think about, is this the greatest return on happiness that I could achieve? Doing this thing, doing this task, is that going to give me worthwhile? Is it going to be worthwhile? Is it going to give me longevity in terms of my return on happiness? If you are somebody who wants to become a leader in your industry, somebody who wants to be a top performer in your organization and to be recognized for the expertise that you have, and to be given greater opportunities in leadership, in management, and also in making strategic decisions for your organization, and you want the help and the coaching to help you, to show you, to take you by the step by step on how to elevate your career, then I invite you to book a call with me. Right below this video, there's going to be a link for you to submit an application for my executive coaching program. And when you click on that link, it'll take you to an application form. And this is where you fill it out. My team and I really take these forms seriously. So if you are an established career professional in your career and you want to take things to the next level, then I invite you to apply so that you can talk to myself or a member of my team, and we look forward to helping you to get to that leadership, and we look forward to seeing you on the inside.